Hello everybody, it's Philly Kuts with the Hump Day Haul, number 37. And this is where I show my stack of comic books to you guys, what I got for the week. So let's get right to it. And starting out with Dark Horse Comics, we got Fight Club number 2. And this takes off, it's a sequel, obviously, not of the movie adaptation, folks, but of the Chuck Palahnuik novel. I hope I said his name right. I can never say his name right. Check out all those pharmaceuticals on that cover. Yeah. So this takes place with Sebastian, who's the narrator, and the infamous Brad Pitt character Tyler Durden, who, if you recall, was kind of like the manic manifestation of Sebastian, right? Well, this kind of shows Sebastian is in a bit of a funk, and it takes place 10 years after Fight Club. His wife is very unhappy. Sebastian is unhappy. He feels smothered by life, hates his job, feels like he's just walking through the motions, kind of like the way he did in the movie, right? His wife is so upset about things that she's going to her own self-help clubs. And it's funny, the one self-help club she goes to is a support group for those with progeria. You know, that disease where you age really quick? You know, when you're like 10 years old, but you look like you're 80. It's a horrible disease, folks. Be thankful you don't got it. I can't imagine what that must be like. But this is pretty interesting. I actually read through this. I took some of my comics this time and read through them. It goes by pretty quick. It's lightning quick. There's lots of cuts in it. It may be a little bit difficult to follow, but they give you a nice primer in the beginning of the book to kind of help you remember, I guess, what happened in the first book. But it's great. It's drawn by Cameron Stewart, and it is colored by Dave Stewart. Now, how the hell does Dave Stewart color so many books? It's like so many of the books that I buy, Dave Stewart colors. It's like, I don't know how the guy is able to do that. It's just crazy how much he's able to do that. I like the coloring, as always, by Dave Stewart. It's kind of like when they show Sebastian. It's in like a bunch of muted colors. Kind of, I guess, to showcase the drabness of his life. He's got that mark. Remember that scar? There's other people in the town that have that similar scar who were from Fight Club or from his infamous, what the heck was it called? It was his project. Oh my God. Project Mayhem, if you remember that. And in the opening cover of this book, they give you a test for Project Mayhem. Are you space monkey material? So check it out. If you ever had a longing for a sequel to Fight Club, here it is. I didn't even know it was coming out until today. So, Dark Horse. Okay, Marvel. I got one book, Old Man Logan. Now, I guess this is a sequel as well. I wasn't really aware of it. Let me read you guys the official teaser from Marvel. Let me see if I can get it up. Oh, enter the Wastelands, a realm where all heroes have been murdered by their archenemies, villains who now rule over the land with an iron fist. In the midst of this dystopian chaos, one may make a difference. A reluctant warrior who was once the greatest mutant of all time, a man known as Old Man Logan. As we know, Logan, or Wolverine, of Marvel Universe 616, died last year. And now he's like an adamantium Silver Surfer statue. He's done. Unfortunately, that whole Death of Wolverine 4-part series was, it was pretty bad. I wasn't very impressed with that. So hopefully Bendis, who's the writer here, can do some justice again to Old Man Logan. There's always lots of complaints that whenever Brian Bendis starts writing about a character, it's out of character, meaning it's not really like the way the character is. But Andrea Sorrentino and colorist Marcelo Maiolo They do an excellent job in this book. I mean, check out some of this coloring, man. Look at that. That's like Red Dead Redemption there, isn't it? Check that out. Awesome looking sequence there of Old Man Logan. And he looks ready to rumble, folks. Great sequences in here. It looks like Old Man Logan fights a team of daredevils. He also fights this guy, Gladiator, who I'm not even sure who that is. I'm not as up to snuff in my Marvel stuff. But great sequences in here. It looks like Gladiator gets kind of gladiated. Check out that picture, folks. With the double stab. I'll tell you what, though. Wolverine seems really vicious and out to do damage in this. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. I haven't read it yet. The only complaint I do have is that this is another Secret War title with, check that out, $5 price tag. Now, not all of them, not all the Secret War books are $5. Most of them are $4. But that extra $1 is pretty steep. I mean, I do think they give you a few extra pages, but $5, and it's not even like a special cover. At least Secret Wars #1 had kind of the special, more durable cover, and this one it's like nothing. So that's pretty steep, man. I hope they lower the price of that. I really hate it when comic companies exploit you like that. You know, they get you by the balls and they twist it. You know. All right, next Image Comics. We got Outcast #9. If you check it out on the cover, there's that female. This is who Kyle Barnes, the Exorcist, and his priest friend Reverend Anderson, the older guy with the glasses. I guess they're going on a mission to find this woman. Kind of was a cliffhanger ending in the last issue, stating that they needed to find this woman. I don't remember why. I'm going to have to brush up and read #8 again because I don't really remember. But again, this is Robert Kirkman, creator of Walking Dead. He's the writer. This book is going to be eventually turned in, I guess, to a television series, so be on the lookout for that. I'm not sure when. And Paul Azeka is the artist, and Elizabeth Breitmeiser is the colorist. And it's got a very unique look, folks. You got geriatrics making out in this book. Oh, the horror. Oh, the horror. I don't know. I guess I hope I'm still making out with someone when I'm that age. Biting of the lip and stuff like that. Oh, it's creepy, folks. So if you're into exorcisms, if you're into demonic possession, I highly recommend this book, and it's earned a place on the permanent pull list for May. For sure. All right, another Dark Horse title. We got Mike Mignola writing this one. This is his baby, Frankenstein Underground. Ben Steinbeck, the artist, and Dave Stewart, again, the colorist. He's practically the colorist for almost every Mignola book, it seems. What can I say? This is Mignola's baby. Frankenstein Underground. Take a look at him. He's pissed off. He's tired of being hunted by people his whole life. For centuries, this man has been hunted. He's been ostracized. Why? Why? Because I guess he's a little bit different. I think in this issue, he meets some cult. He finds out that there's this certain cult that's kind of been his torturers. I can't remember what the name of the cult is. But they've been giving him quite a hard time. Jesus, I don't remember. But there's some great sequences in here. He meets this weird dude with the mask. You know, there are some complaints out there in cyberspace that they're getting kind of tired of Frankenstein complaining about being hunted and being pierced and prodded. But what can I say? If you were being hunted and pierced and prodded for centuries, wouldn't you be a little bit tired? Wouldn't you be a little bit pissed? You know, where's your empathy, folks? Where's your empathy? All I can say is, check this out. I'm really enjoying it. I got to read it again. I wish I could find out what the name of that group was. That they were... Oh, here it is. The Heliopic Brotherhood. The Heliopic Brotherhood. There's like a group portrait of them. Kind of looks like a 1920s cosplayer, people. That's what it is. Alright, so check it out. Frankenstein Underground. Okay. Another Image book. Back to Image. I got Pisces #2. I just bought Pisces #1 last week. It was recommended to me by a friend. And I gotta say that I really enjoyed it. And I'm gonna stick with it. I kind of want to see what happens to this main character. It seems to be a book that is dealing with PTSD. This character was in Vietnam. Check out these nightmarish visions he's having. Look at that, with the book stabbing him. Look at how long his arms are. Piercing right through his eyeballs. Anyway, he was in Vietnam. Vietnam War veteran, pilot. Got shot down behind enemy lines in Vietnam. He's been in the shit, man. He's seen a lot of bad stuff happen. He's had to kill people. He's been in heavy combat. Also, you gathered from the first issue that he didn't get along very well with his father. He actually made references to wanting to kill his father, so him and his father have had this tumultuous relationship. And then also you kind of gather from the first issue that he is not on very good terms with his wife. He's in a very broken relationship. Excellent book. I'm really looking forward to seeing how this goes. Looks like he may even have a drinking problem here, folks. Looks like he's hitting up the scotch on the rocks here. As you can see, throwing the glass. Not good, man. He's got problems. He's got issues. And I just hope that they tackle this issue of PTSD responsibly, and that we can kind of get issues like this more on the table, and we can look at this constructively. So I'm really looking forward to it. You know, it's an issue that's in the news more and more with our boys and our soldiers returning home from the desert with lots of problems. And, you know, it's a very macho subculture, and it's hard for people to talk about it, you know, who are in the military. So I'm going to check it out. Hopefully I can share it with some friends. All right, a new Image title, another one. We have Sons of the Devil. This is a brand new title by Brian Buccellato. Now, who is he, you ask? Well, he's a big writer for DC. He does a lot of Detective Comics work. I just got done reading the Anarchy storyline in Detective Comics. It was great. It was a great storyline. I really enjoyed it. He also has done a lot of work with The Flash. Basically, this is a story of kind of an everyday guy who learns that he is part of a cult, or that his family was a cult. I guess he was an orphan, and he was stolen from the orphanage at a very, very young age by this cult. So this also is another comic book that uses a series of flashbacks to tell a lot of the story. And I guess it takes place over 3 different decades or 3 different generations, I can't recall, to describe and to discuss this cult. So I'm really looking forward to this. The artwork by Tony Infante looks pretty edgy, very heavily penciled. Very heavily penciled look, and rough and rigid and raw. Let's see if we got any good sequences in here, any good gore or anything. I don't know if we do. Very, very short book. I guess we don't. I gotta start scoping these comic books out for some more cool pictures before I present. But looks like someone got bludgeoned to death there. I'm not sure who it is. And there's a doggy. So I'm looking forward to reading this. I am a fan of Brian Buccellato. That's one of the main reasons why I picked this up. And we'll see how it goes, folks. That's all I'm going to say about that. All right, I got an IDW title this week, The October Faction. Think of this as a dysfunctional Addams family. However, in recent issues, they've been becoming more together. They've been becoming more of a cohesive unit. Dad, as you can see here on the front cover, I can't recall his name. Let me see if I can cheat here and figure out who this dude's name is. Frederick, he is the patriarch of the Allen family, is a former monster hunter. And then he turned into a professor at some university, about a professor of mythology and monsters. Anyway, he gets pulled out of retirement. His kids, who are now teenagers, started bugging him about all his secrets of the monster hunting trade, and he's finally decided to let them in on it. Star of this book, I think, is Damian Worm's artwork. Very, very dark, macabre. Really, really dark colors. Kind of has like an Edward Scissorhands, Timothy Burton kind of a look to it. But it really sets the mood. It's very, very like atmospheric. Kind of gets me in the mood. I love that the pages are black. You know, the borders of the pages. There's always some cool looking creatures in this book. Ghouls. You know, just very, very macabre. I like the splotches of red here and there. Just a good book. The writing is kind of hit or miss. I often feel like it's a bit rushed and underdeveloped. And the stories are just so very, very short. Like, it really... Every issue of the October Faction has really only taken me about 5 minutes to read. But I guess there's something about it that keeps me going, so still trying to figure that out. But, geez, look at that house. Isn't that cool? It's a pretty cool looking house with the gates. So if you want to, you know, if you're into the Addams family, if you really miss Christina Ricci and that whole vibe, check out the October Faction. I like it. All right, peeps, and finally, from Black Mask, we have God Killer Walk Among Us, and this is like a famous advertisement, I guess, from this book. She'll steal your heart. No, seriously, she really will. And that's because the whole crux of this story is about a young man looking for a new heart for his, I think it's like his 14-year-old sister. This young man, I can't remember his name. So sorry, I don't remember anybody's name. But he's on a journey to find that heart, and he has to go through this just awful dystopian universe where ungodly things happen. The villain, one of the villains in this book, has actually injected the protagonist with this special kind of serum that has spider larvae, or spider, microscopic like spider eggs in it. And if he doesn't do what she says, she's able to activate this serum, the eggs will hatch, and he will be eaten from the inside out by these freaking spiders. So this woman is playing for no keeps to try to keep this young man in line and to get him to do what she needs him to do. I'm trying not to ruin anything for you guys. I want to keep it... Whew, I was going to sneeze there. Sorry. I want to keep it spoiler-free for you guys. But this is a challenging book, man. It's depressing at times. The artwork is very dark and murky. It kind of reminds me a little bit of October Faction, you know, the same kind of like dark, very, very dark, macabre color palette, black borders for the pages, vicious bosses and villains in this, and it's really kind of a coming-of-age story, a very vicious coming-of-age story for this young man who's trying to do good for his sister. And I've just been compelled by this story. I've been challenged by this story. You know, sometimes it leaves me with a sick, eerie feeling. I mean, there's been graphic scenes and depictions of this story of rape and sexual assault. I'm not going to say who that happens to. I think it was like in issue number 2 where that happens, but very, very challenging. It's just a brutal, brutal world. There's also elements of like alchemy and magic in this book. So cool stuff. And I recommend, if you're really looking for like a dystopian kind of lost world story, I highly recommend this book. The trade just came out, I think, last week, or 2 weeks ago, for issues number 1 through 3. We are now up to issue number 5. So if you want to check it out, I think it's actually for $10 too. I think they're doing kind of like an Image entry price point for $10. So I highly, highly recommend it. God Killer, Walk Among Us. Doesn't that remind you of, what was it, GTA 4 when they had that classic poster? Oh, I don't know. I don't remember. But anyway, guys, if you noticed, let me first pick the cover of the week, and then we'll talk a little bit about DC, because I didn't have any DC comics this week. I think it's probably the first week since I've started this comic book haul that I haven't had a DC title, believe it or not. So that's pretty phenomenal. I'll tell you something, it's getting harder and harder every week to pick the cover of the week, because nothing really has stood out for me out of any of these titles. I guess I'm going to go with my God Killer, my Lolita, sucking on the lollipop. Alright, that's the cover of the week, God Killer, Walk Among Us. No DC titles this week, but guess what? Convergence is over, I guess. Number 8 came out this week. I made it through Convergence, people, by buying only 4 books. I bought the Green Lantern and the Green Lantern Corps 2-issue story. Both of which were kind of and from what I heard from most people, Convergence was not that great. So I'm really looking forward to getting back into the swing of things with DC. So what I want to do real quick is kind of take a look here with you guys and see which DC books are coming out next week. So next Wednesday is June 3rd. So let me just type in my search engine real quick under Fresh Comics. That's what I always use to look and see what's coming out week to week with the new releases. Let's see here on the 3rd what DC comics are going to be coming out, because there's a bunch of new ones, and I think my pocketbook, holy shit, what am I, Ed Wood? My wallet is going to take a huge hit here. Now, if only my computer will work. It's freezing. God damn it, man. Do I not have the worst luck ever? Okay, here we go. So, June 3rd, next week, DC, we got Action Comics, which is what I'm probably not going to get Action Comics. I get Superman. Okay, Bizarro #1. I don't know if I'm going to get that. I think it was either Action Comics last issue, or it was the Superman last issue where they did a Bizarro teaser, and it's going to be like a comedy kind of. Actually, the tagline here says, "Hate Harley Quinn, then you will super hate Bizarro. Bizarro, star of worstest comic ever. Go ahead and miss it. If there's one thing this issue have not, it's these 2 things, Jimmy Olsen and Chupacabras. Don't miss the start of this 6-issue all-ages miniseries." So what do you think, guys? You think it's just going to be too goofy to get, or what? I don't know. I'm kind of tempted to bite on it. I guess we'll have to see. And then Green Lantern #41 is coming out next week. I'm so excited because they had a huge cliffhanger ending at the end of Green Lantern number 40, and Hal Jordan just kind of went batshit crazy. He's gone rogue. He's on his own, and he's up against the Green Lantern Corps again. So I think it's going to be awesome. And plus, we got to find out whether or not Kilowog is alive, because the way that it ended, it looked like him and Hal got into a huge battle, and that Kilowog may be dead. And Kilowog is my favorite member of the Green Lantern Corps, so I can't imagine what it would be like if he is dead. Kind of scares me. And then also, I may be picking up Lobo number 7, because I think Sinestro might be in it, and it's written by Cullen Bunn. Now, I don't know if Cullen Bunn has been writing Lobo all along or not. I'm not really sure. As you guys know, Cullen Bunn is one of my favorite writers, so I think I may be picking up Lobo number 7. If Sinestro is in that book, I'm definitely going to pick it up. And then that looks like that's it. I thought there was going to be more titles for me to kind of check out. There's a bunch of new books coming out, like Midnighter number 1, which is a spin-off of Grayson. What else? Omega Men number 1. I'm not sure if that's a Green Lantern. Is that a Green Lantern? No. Okay, the Omega Men are in an all-new series. They murdered White Lantern Kyle Rayner, and now the universe wants them to pay. Who are these intergalactic criminals, and is there more to their actions than meet the eye? Geez, I might want to pick that one up just because it's related to Green Lantern. Well, the White Lantern, Kyle Rayner, but you know what I mean. It's Green Lantern universe. So I don't know. I'll have to see. There's some interesting new books here. And as the weeks go on, there's going to be lots and lots of new books. So I got to figure this all out. You guys let me know what DC titles you're looking forward to, because everything has been, like, revamped. I know that when Aquaman starts, some of the comics are also starting over again. So, like, Aquaman was, what, up to number 40? And now it's going to be Aquaman number 1 again. And it may be written by Cullen Bunn, so I may be picking up Aquaman eventually. But there's going to be a whole bunch of new DC titles. It's going to be all reworked, revamped, so I got to see how that's going to go. And I know that over the next month, while I'm trying to figure this all out, my wallet's going to be hating me. So let me know, guys, what DC books you're looking forward to now that Convergence is over and everything is going hog wild, batshit crazy in DC land again. Alright, dudes, it's been Comic Book Haul number 37. Let me know what books you got this week. Let me know what DC books you're looking forward to. Peace. Have a great day.